Hey everybody, Sean here, and I hope you're doing well. Kathryn Krick is who we're looking at again, so let's jump right in. And special thanks to Mark Scott for sharing this. This is the video we're looking at today about being set free from demonic soul ties. And it's this part here about bad ties that she says some troubling things.
You should be very careful and intentional who you bring close to, who you bring close in your life. Jesus shows us this example. Jesus only had 12 disciples. There were only 12 who came close to Jesus. And even all 12 of them didn't come super close. It was only 3 who then would come super close. It was Peter, James, and John that Jesus took to the Mount of Transfiguration, where they got to see this transfiguration take place. Only them. This transfiguration of Jesus take place. Only them, only those 3. And it was those same 3 that Jesus brought to the Garden of Gethsemane to keep watch and pray as he was praying before he went to the cross to be crucified. It shows us there that there were 3 that he brought even closer.
While it's true that Peter, James, and John were privileged to see Jesus' transfiguration, witness Jesus raise Jairus' daughter from the dead, and accompany Jesus to the Garden of Gethsemane, this has nothing to do with her next incorrect statement.
And Peter was the one whom he chose to build his church upon. And Peter was the one whom he chose to build his church upon. And Peter was the one whom he chose to build his church upon after Peter reveals that he sees Jesus for who he really is, the Messiah. When Jesus asked, who do you, all these disciples here, he was saying to them, who do you think that I am? Other people say different things about me, a teacher, a prophet. Who do you say I am? And Peter is the only one that responds with a true answer, with the most correct answer, the Messiah. And that reveals that he was more spiritual, that his spiritual eyes were more open. And so we can see that Jesus could entrust him more than others.
So we have a few things to cover here. Let's work backwards.
He was more spiritual, that his spiritual eyes were more open. And so we can see that Jesus could entrust him more than others.
Did that really mean that Peter was more spiritual and that Jesus could entrust him more? The Bible doesn't say that, but Kathryn is saying that to support her false teaching. If we review this familiar passage, we read that Jesus asked Peter who he says Jesus is, and Peter replies, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." And Jesus answered him, saying, "Blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father who is in heaven." It's God who revealed this to him. It didn't make him more spiritual or mean that Jesus could entrust him more, but she needed to say that to support her previous statement.
And Peter was the one whom he chose to build his church upon.
This is the whole false belief the Catholics have, and that Peter was the first pope because he's the rock the church is built on. The Greek word for Peter is Petros and means small rock or pebble, whereas the rock Jesus will build the church on is Petra, which means a massive connected rock or a boulder. In 1 Corinthians 10:4, we read, "For they drank from the spiritual rock that traveled with them, and that rock was Christ." And if we look at the word for rock, we see it's Petra. Christ is the rock the church is built on, not Peter. We're told in Acts 4:11 that Jesus is the stone that was rejected and is the cornerstone. And in 1 Peter 2, we read, "Behold, I lay in Zion a choice stone, a precious cornerstone, and he who believes in him shall not be disappointed." This precious value, then, is for you who believe. But for those who disbelieve, the Son, which the builders rejected, this became the very cornerstone. The cornerstone of any building was the one which the building was anchored. If Christ declared himself to be the cornerstone, how could Peter be the rock upon which the church was built? Obviously, it can't be. It also refers to believing in this cornerstone, and they shall not be disappointed. Well, that's obviously also Jesus and not Peter. If you are a follower of false female apostle and phony demon-casting Kathryn Krick, please understand that she is not qualified to be a teacher, and this video puts into question whether she's actually promoting Catholic beliefs, which would come as no surprise considering the ecumenical movement that's happening within the New Apostolic Reformation today. With that being said, we're going to leave it here for today, but as always, feel free to leave your thoughts below, and until next time, take care and God bless.